All right, guys, it looks like we are good to go for another episode of Layer 1 Live. Oh my God, NFTLive, that's what it is. We have a great episode talking about everything within the NFT industry. Appreciate everybody joining the channel. I see you guys filling in right now. But we should have a good, pretty solid week of news here. I want to go through a couple things. First of all, we've got Flow Network that's going to be dropping some knowledge as far as what they're launching as far as IP goes. We've got Aave bringing in DeFi or bringing in NFTs to DeFi, and then you have Rarible bringing DeFi to NFT. So we have some weird things going on in the NFT space right now. We're just going to hit a bunch of the news today. Nothing as far as gameplay goes, but I appreciate you guys filling in the channel. Again, NFTLive, we're talking NFTs, not just from me. I want to hear what you guys got going on in your NFT lives, in your metaverse lives. So again, appreciate everybody following, coming in the channel here. We've got about 5 or 6 of y'all. We'll wait for everybody to get in. First announcement I wanted to make doesn't really have anything to do with NFTs. It has more to do with Layer 1. Obviously, we got a ton of different content on the channel that you guys can follow. Obviously, you got Dimitri's desk. You've got Layer 1 Live, where we're bringing you pretty much broad crypto news. You've got NFTLive, obviously. You've got the interviews that we do. Just every type of content that you could probably find in the crypto industry. So we're trying to work hard for you guys. But the biggest piece of news we had this week, for those of you that haven't already known, is we are launching our LADZ token. So we have our LADZ community. Layer 1 Autonomous Digital Zone. Shout out to Zach Lee for that one. But we've got our LADZ community here, and we are launching a token with Roll. So I don't want to go too much into it. Obviously, this is more kind of a personal token than an NFT, but we will be incorporating the LADZ token into NFTLive, right? So we're going to be doing some giveaways, obviously, that not only go along with NFTs, but will go along with LADZ. We'll be doing competitions where you guys will interact with NFTLive, or whoever brings me the hottest NFT that week or something like that. We can talk about kind of incorporating the LADZ token. Again, I want to just cover this real quick. Here's what to expect, and here's what not to expect. We've got it pretty much going to be a community-based token. What's going on, Dimitri? We got Dimitri in the chat here. It's going to be a token distribution model that we're going to release tomorrow, and then we've got community competitions like I just talked about. All of this is kind of happening off-chain, but is interoperable with the Ethereum wallet. We've got here's what not to expect. Obviously, this isn't like a token sale or anything. This isn't going any type of Moon Lambo type situation, but we'll see where it leads. So that's kind of the LADZ token, guys. I just wanted to get you guys that. Again, we will be incorporating that into NFTLive at some point, and it will kind of be a fluid situation. So looking forward to Dimitri dropping those token economics, the initial distribution, and how we'll be using that going forward. So I see you guys filling into the chat. Appreciate you guys stopping by, man. We're going to talk everything NFTs here in a second. I'm going to drop that off. So we've got the first piece of news here, man, and this is from a team that is going to kill it in the next probably, I don't know. I think they're planning on launching mainnet here like at the end of maybe Q3, maybe beginning of Q4. Definitely in 2020, they said Flow mainnet is launching. Wax has been taking a fair share of, I would guess, the media, the content that's happening in the NFT industry right now. Certainly you have the different NFT art situations that you have on SuperRare, that you have on Rarible, which we'll talk about in a second. But definitely we are going to see a lot of good things come from Flow. So without further ado, we have Dr.Suess kind of coming onto the Flow network here. So obviously we've seen a ton of IPs that have come through. Wax is trying to get their IP situation figured out so that they can bring all of the coolest brands that are well known, not just like crypto brands. Certainly we have a lot of that within the industry, but bringing in NBA, bringing in Dr.Suess, bringing in, I think there's been UFC announcements. There have been all of these big brands that people know. I mean, think about NFTs that would represent NFL trading cards, even NFL players. You can play them in Madden. All of these big brands that you need to kind of have this. And I'm not going to use the quote unquote mass adoption, but all of these big brands are going to be used to bring more liquidity to the NFT market. It's going to be awesome, and there's going to be huge opportunities. I mean, if you think Garbage Pail Kids, I mean, if you think that was successful, and certainly they have their own base of people who are collecting and all this stuff, but it's basically just NFT enthusiasts, crypto enthusiasts right now that are getting behind general brands, but we haven't seen brands like Dr.Suess or just huge. I mean, NBA Top Shot is another one that Flow's been running kind of behind closed doors. If you haven't been getting in on that, you're not alone. That's kind of a closed beta, but they're running different private sales. So basically what's happening here, guys, is the IP is essentially going to be used on Flow, which means that they're going to be able to use different images and likeness and all of these different things that go along with having collectibles on the blockchain. As you can see, I already talked about this. Flow is bringing in NBA, they're bringing in the UFC, Warner Music, Ubisoft, Animoca Brands, love those guys. And they kind of go in this article and talk about the different type of things that are going on within Flow. I feel like it's a little bit under the radar, and that's just because mainnet isn't live. They don't have like a quote-unquote token. And basically what's happening here is they're just giving us kind of a look behind the scenes, right? They've got devs building on it. They've got programs that involve a lot of interesting people who are going to get into the NFT space. It looks like 2,000 projects have been created on their kind of dev playground. So that's basically the news we got. Again, it's not like anything launching next week. We kind of have to wait to see when Flow is planning on launching their mainnet. But it is good to see big IPs. I mean, I go back to the GPK craze. If GPK and Topps can have this type of craze, you think the bigger brands in the industry, Dr.Suess being one of them, can be successful when they launch their own collectibles, their own NFTs. So obviously this is Play to Earn. Play to Earn ran this story too. So I'm interested in Flow, man. I know a lot of the stuff has been behind closed doors. They haven't launched a token as of yet. Mainnet's going live. Obviously it's the team behind Dapper Labs. You're going to be able to bring stuff like the Grinchin, Lorax, all these different types of characters within that Dr.Suess world into NFTs, and that's an opportunity for people who are paying attention. So yeah, it's always good to get Flow news. I cannot wait. I honestly believe Flow is going to be probably the biggest collectible and NFT situation probably out there in crypto. So I see you guys are filling in, man. Welcome to the channel, NFTLive. We're talking everything NFTs. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Leave a like if you can. Thank you for kind of coming in here and supporting what we've got going on, hearing about NFT news. The next piece of news, guys, Sandbox. Sandbox has been running a ton of sales, so they're just announcing another sale. So all kudos to them. I want to see the actual world go live. I would love to see more news other than just, hey, we're launching another sale. But there is an interesting portion of this sale that I want to touch on here. So obviously they've had, I believe this is going to be pre-sale round 4. So if I go down here, I'm sure you guys can find. So I guess this was the discounts that were going on across. I guess this is just pre-sale 4, but they had different type of discounts, obviously, for pre-sale 1, 2, 3. A little bit more discounted when you bought large estates or things like that. Obviously, they all sold out. Congrats to the Sandbox team there. The big thing I want to get to here, and so this sale is going to be on August 4th. If you're looking into kind of the metaverse and in voxel estate purchases, August 4th is the time at 1 p.m. GMT. They're going to break this into 4 rounds. So this is just going to be the 4th pre-sale and 1 of 4 total rounds. So that August 4th time date is that. But the big thing I wanted to talk about was this. Obviously, it helps to be a early investor when it comes to some of these Sandbox sales. Obviously, you're getting a little bit more of the discount going, but we do have a situation where now, even though it's pre-sale number 4, these investors, they might even be the same people, are going to get a different type of incentive here to actually take part. And I get where they're coming from, right? Like, it's pre-sale 4. They've probably gone through most of the people, although they've sold out, so I'm sure there's still an appetite. But what they're trying to do is incentivize people to take part in this last bit of the Sandbox sale. So what they're doing, without further ado, premium lands and exclusive assets. So what they're doing is selling, if you see this here, they've got this portion. You can kind of see where this might be. I think it's going to be in the top left. We can go to the Sandbox a little bit later. But these yellow portions are premium lands. So not only are they getting those transportation hubs, as I'll get to here in a second, but they're actually getting items within the land, which is something that has not happened yet. what you're basically purchasing when you purchase this estate in the first pre-sales, or just the land, correct? So you're just getting the possibility of having the better location, or maybe you're near your friends, but you're not getting anything inside of those lands. But it looks like, and you can see what they're trying to sell here, these lands that they're selling now are going to be sold with assets on top of them. So you have different legendaries, epics, rares, commons type of items, which I like to see from like an MMO standpoint. They said they were going to implement these type of MMO kind of features, which obviously having tiers of items is something that you want to look at there. But here you go. So for now, the only way to get premium assets is to buy premium lands, where buyers will get 4 premium assets: 1 common, 1 rare, 1 epic, and 1 of 6 legendary assets. So what is this doing? It's incentivizing people to take part in their last pre-sale round. It just makes sense. I mean, they could have done this for any of the other sales, but I feel like they didn't have to. And certainly there will probably be an uproar of people who took part in 1, 2, and 3, and they're saying, what the hell, man? So we'll see how that goes. I might take part in this just based on the legendary, epic, and rare, and all of these different assets that you get with the land. But for the most part, I'm happy with what I got. So let's see if we can't go to the sandbox. I bring this up every time, and I appreciate them getting announcements out. But I would just love for this thing to go live, man. Like, it's been a long time they're building, and I appreciate them. Obviously, Layer 1 has this estate here and the Atari estate here. It doesn't look like those premium assets are like on that land map that we just saw. If they're going to be, where is the? Okay, so I just do it here. All right, so you see Layer 1 here. We've got Layer 1 up here. So the premium assets haven't gone like live on this map yet. Obviously, whenever it comes to that August 4th time frame, what'll happen is some type of land will pop up here, and then everybody will jump in and be able to at that designated time. So cool things happening within Sandbox. Again, I want to go live. Get me into that alpha, man. I would love to see that from a third person point of view. The only other thing I have with these with the Sandbox is going to be, and they touched on it here, what are premium lands? Premium locations. And then they go into this transportation system. So wherever you see these hubs, what you have is going to be, let's see, yeah. So these haven't shown up on the real map, I believe, so the live map. But what they're planning on doing is adding these hubs to the world so that people can transport around the map. Now, we touched on this on Layer 1 Live. Me and Dimitri touched on it a little bit and kind of like discussed on how that brings value to certain areas as opposed to being able to just like click somewhere and instantly teleport. This kind of gives a little bit more of a vibe of real life, and that's what you want if you're trying to recreate and do these things that you want to do in the metaverse. I got Dimitri in the chat. He's saying, when MMORPG? Dude, we're waiting on it, man. I don't know if you saw Kane's tweet the other day, but he said DeFi is the greatest MMORPG ever created. So certainly that's not something that we're in depth with enough. We're not the level 60s. We haven't maxed out. We're definitely like level 1 through 5, trying to figure that shit out still. But yeah, man, we'll see MMORPGs pop up here using NFTs shortly. I cannot wait. Cannot wait for that. All right, so we got the transportation hubs. You can see some of this here, but basically they came out and said we're going to allow certain areas, and this will be built up around different communities, to have like subway systems where you're not just clicking. Certainly if you like the way they have it set up is if you walk to an adjacent map or an adjacent part of the map, you just go into the portal and you pop out wherever the owner of that estate wanted you to pop out in there. But if you want to move, let's say, across the entire metaverse, like Sandbox metaverse, then you really can't, at least at this point, pop in and just say, hey, I want to travel there. It's kind of, you kind of have this mechanic in World of Warcraft where you can't just like literally go anywhere you want and people just like blinking around the map. So that's a good thing. I mean, obviously we'll see as it goes on. The Sandbox is still like very, like, it's in its idea phase, right? Like it's in it, like we can't see anything and actually like put it into practice. It's still, all these things seem kind of intangible at the moment. So we'll see what they end up doing. So that's it for the Sandbox, man. That they've always got news coming out. A lot of it surrounds sales, so we'll see how that works for them. So congrats to all the success they've been having. All right. This is a pretty big piece of news here, and it kind of flew under the radar, I think, and it's kind of fringy. If you think NFTs are fringe, and you think DeFi is fringe, then putting them together is certainly the most fringy thing you could probably do. So what you have here is a team funded by Aave. So Aave, most of these decentralized projects or crypto projects that are centralized, that will one day be decentralized, what they do is have funds set aside so that they can fund their ecosystem. Outside of the work that the team's doing, they can end up like funding essentially what you have here. So Aave's funded AaveGotchi. And essentially what this is mixing DeFi and NFTs. So there's incentives, obviously, that we've seen through yield farming and all these things. And I believe Stanny talked about it. If we can't go to the Twitter, let's see. I might be able to pull this up and actually get his thing word for word. Appreciate you getting that tweet out, Dimitri. So he was talking about AaveGotchis, and basically what AaveGotchis are, they're a reward and an incentive to stake collateral on the Aave protocol. So right now, what is the incentive to stake on DeFi? What you get is tokens in return, right? Or you get some type of capital return. So what Stanley, I'm gonna read word for word here because he's the man. We just had him on the episode or on the channel a little while ago. Stanley says it best. So he said, yield farming is bad, really, really bad thing. Incentives are good, really, really good thing. Liquidity black holes are really, really bad things. AaveGotchi is a really, really good thing. So he said this in an interesting way. But basically what he's getting at is that the incentive structures, and we touched on this on the episode too, are kind of out of whack. If everybody's just chasing yield, you really don't have an incentive to stay on that platform. So maybe me and Dimitri kind of got in his ear a little bit, and we actually worked this out. But you can kind of read into his post here. Worst case scenario, these liquidity blocks will drain to the in existence. There's nothing that anyone can do about it. So he's just basically saying that, like, as people get more, like, their appetite increases, as we'll see in this bull run that we're about to have, hopefully, people's risk appetites are going to increase. They're going to go and, if I can get 20% return on my investment or something like 20% kind of like yield, I'm going to be, going into that. We've already seen that where DeFi has already taken over staking. I remember staking was about to have its moment, and then DeFi came in and said, nah, screw that. You can get way more with us. You can, rehypothecate and all these different things. So again, getting back to this, I can drop this in the chat really quick. Actually, I had trouble dropping this into the chat the last time. But anyways, guys, AaveGotchi. What you have is the team behind some of the team behind Bullionix. So there's Nick Mudge, there's Coder Dan. There's a couple guys that have already been within the NFT space. These guys got funded to work in AaveGotchi, and basically you are getting a unique token, as you can see here, for staking and staking collateral on the protocol. Let me see if I can actually find this, and they have the process here. Okay. All right, so I can read it out loud here, but you guys can also follow along. So basically, if people stake on the Aave protocol, this is what's going to happen. Originally, AaveGotchis would be unlocked by staking a token, which is something for, obviously, you're getting, I believe you stake ETH and you get a token back, as from like a borrowing standpoint. But by staking a token collateral and accruing interest, however, given the unreliable nature of interest, what if it goes negative? So this week we decided to remove the interest requirement. Instead, AaveGotchis can be unlocked simply by staking collateral, which will vary depending on the rarity of the AaveGotchi traits. So what you have here is, again, NFTs, DeFi kind of forming together. Can't wait to talk about that to the people that already kind of think this is a little bit of fringe aspect. So they've got a token that's going to be launched. You can't have a crypto project without a token, a governance token. Obviously, there's some kind of links here in the description that you can go into and follow this, but they've got a roadmap. They said they're launching their white paper soon. But this is essentially making Aave, it's just another incentive for people to get in. So even and what I'm super interested about is the DeFi process already is kind of convoluted, right? You have a lot of people who are more experienced, and that's how I'll put it, that are into these protocols that are kind of sapping this yield. What you have here, if you introduce NFTs and you bring little cute things that have like a lend logo and a link logo and a synthetics logo, you might bring in NFT enthusiasts that really don't know what the heck's going on when it comes to a DeFi interface. So that's something to keep an eye out for, but it is cool to see these different incentives kind of come into the DeFi space, and a lot of it is going the other way, right? Like we'll talk about it here in a second. Rarible launched their RARI token. That's essentially, if you're incentivizing anything these days, you just add DeFi onto it, because that's essentially what people are doing. But they're saying, oh, they're bringing, with the RARI token, they're bringing DeFi to NFTs. Well, that's incentives have always been around. So definitely interesting to see. There's going to be rarity types. Let's see, what other things can we kind of pry out of here. We've got Mike Finch in the chat. What's going on, Mike? Happy to have you in, man. I know you love the NFT and DeFi spaces put together to make a baby, which is AaveGotchi. I'm sure you're loving that. So we've got pretty much that's the story, fellas. The only other thing I will say, and I would keep an eye out for this this ghost token that they're planning on launching. So it says we're on track to launch a ICO. I'm sure that's decentralized autonomous ICO. There's a couple different things in here, and I think I got into a later point, but they might be redeemed specifically for NFTs, but that doesn't mean they can't, see any value in the secondary markets. So we'll see. I mean, this is just an interesting story that I wanted to get to you guys. Hopefully you found it interesting. The only other portion that I wanted to talk about was that these are going to be available. I think it was in another blog post, but these die. So these AaveGotchis die when you unstake. So again, they want to get tokens locked up. Nothing easier to tell a person that's into NFTs that if you unstake or you pull out funds or you do whatever, that these AaveGotchis will die. I don't know how exactly that works with being able to trade the AaveGotchi to someone else and then pull out your collateral. And then that thing dies while it's in the other person's possession. So much to unpack there, but interesting story to say the least. Let's go to the next story here. We've got SuperRare. So I just these next couple stories are going to be super quick, right? We've got Decentraland and we've got SuperRare. This kind of made a commotion into the NFT space here. Looked like a square that is painted red. Obviously, NFT art is something that has been kind of taking over the NFT space, definitely. But it looks like just a square that's painted red, sold to the Museum of Crypto, who takes interesting NFT art and puts it into a metaverse type setting. A square that's red went for $7,000. Obviously, people are pissed off. I don't know if I could find the exact. I don't know if I can find the exact comments. A lot of people are saying art is anything. There you go. Art is valuable because of whatever anybody attaches to it. So it really isn't something dumb. But you have people, and I've seen a ton. So I'm trying to find them, but definitely a ton of people that have said this is stupid. This is making the NFT art space look really dumb. I tend to side with the first argument, which is that if someone's willing to pay $7,000 for a square that's red, which probably takes, 5 seconds to take place, then that's it. I mean, the people are throwing around that banana situation that happened where they were at some art exhibit and there was a banana that was tied to or taped to a wall and it went for $100,000 or whatever the hell it went for. So that's just, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm an art enthusiast. So I mean, if you want to pay for that, I mean, basically they paid for $7,000 worth of marketing because the Museum of Crypto Art, I'm sure, is getting a ton of inbound traffic based on just being a part of this story. Let me see if I can't find some people who disagreed with this situation. I know there was a ton, man, and that would be much better to see. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to find it now, but essentially the argument was this makes us look trashy, right? If you're able to, is this wash trading? Is this just people making the industry look like shit? if like one little piece, like what is that? Like I could do that right now, but if they want to pay for it, and you know they want to do that, again, I was talking about the inbound traffic. It's a good story. So maybe they were just, you know, doing that for the hype factor. But that's just another piece of news to get to you guys. Obviously, SuperRare is just that digital artworks marketplace. You can buy different things for a different amount of ETH. Certainly, there's some, I think the majority, just like regular traditional art markets, if I'm not mistaken, the value is found in the painter, right? Like you definitely have like good aesthetically pleasing art that can go for a lot, but a lot of value is found in the notoriety of the painter. So maybe the actual painter is one of the reasons that it went for it. Dimitri's in the chat saying, bro, how? Yeah, I completely agree with that. I wouldn't pay $7,000 for a, you know, painted red little canvas there. But a ton of people are selling. Oh, now we got gray. Someone's coming in with the black. So we've got a ton of people that are trying to copy this, trying to get that money. 50 ETH for a black cube. Who's going for it? Sign up to collect. I'm in. So, interesting stuff. You have a lot of this stuff kind of going on. Hopefully that, yeah, thank God the volume didn't pop there. So you're able to kind of put these artworks into the metaverse. This is obviously something that's going to, you know, continue to evolve over time. I think as these metaverses get built out, the idea that you would have NFT art is going to only increase in time. As more people get into these metaverses, as they become, I mean, this is the, I don't even know if this is, what is this? What VR world is this? Because this is probably the best looking, I mean, this can't be real. I got to give this a look, man. You guys see this? I'm over here playing with my crypto voxels, and they got a whole damn metaverse with like, look at that shit. Huh. All right, I'm definitely gonna give that a look, but you know, that's pretty much the story here, guys. $7,000. If you want to pay for a red box, I can sell you one for far less. Okay, so I had this one story that I was telling you guys about. So we already saw where Aave is kind of having their digital collectibles via the AaveGotchi, and they're incentivizing people to kind of lock up ETH or lock up different assets to get those NFTs. So we've saw that's more DeFi incorporating, you know, NFTs. This is kind of the opposite way, and I hate to even say that because DeFi has almost become synonymous with just incentivizing anything. Like incentivizing liquidity is now DeFi, where that idea can like exist by itself without attaching DeFi to it. But anyways, we've got RARI coming out with their token that is incentivizing, again, collectibles, yield farming, liquidity mining. So what you have here, guys, is people earning the token via trading on Rarible. So Rarible is this marketplace where, just like an OpenSea, I don't even think I use let's see if we can't get in here. So GIFs, art, all these different things. It looks like mostly art because you have the artists here that are selling different pieces of artwork, as opposed to when you go to OpenSea and you go to browse, you're most likely just seeing different protocols or different projects, and you're kind of seeing the category of projects as opposed to categories of artists. So anyways, this RARI token, guys, is going to be used, and I can talk about it here based on what they're saying. Let's see. The governance token of Rarible, you're going to be able to obviously earn it through trading on the platform. So this is the big thing when you're talking liquidity mining, right? So you've launched this RARI token, and non-fungibles came out so like probably a couple days after this happened, because what you saw on the blockchain was people like wash trading to get more RARI. So is that good for Rarible? Is that something that they should be doing? Is it something that should be called out like non-fungibles did? But basically they're giving it to existing Rarible users. So this is the initial distribution that already happened. I checked, you know, they airdrop to some just like general NFT. Like if you hold NFTs, you probably have some RARI sitting in your MetaMask or whatever wallet you use. Very low amounts. I mean, I think I got like $1 worth. So they're planning on launching a DAO. Who isn't? You're doing a RARI token holders rights. So let's see. We've got price discovery mechanism. We got mobile app, social features, more types of content, DeFi NFTs, fractional ownership. So, I mean, they do break this down relatively well, right? Like they've got this well planned out. I think it's easy to see that they're kind of trying to piggyback off of what's happening in the DeFi space. Obviously, if you're launching a token and launching a DAO, I mean, it makes sense to launch an incentive token for liquidity on your platform. I mean, like if you even think about it, the LADZ token is incentivizing people to interact. Like these are like important features that are important to, you know, this your platform, whatever you do. If you're doing a podcast, if you're doing an NFT marketplace, if you're doing a DeFi, you know, liquidity pool thing. So these are important things, but you got to do them correctly, or else what you have is the situation that non-fungibles came out and talked about. And I wonder if I can't find that. But basically they called out Rarible for having these people just like continuously trade. Like that's kind of like bastardizing that process. And that's essentially what happened. So we've got Cyrus in the chat. What's going on, Cyrus? What's happening in the NFT world, man? Welcome in. Tell me what you got going on as far as NFTs, and we can talk about them. Right now, we're trying to kind of find this non-fungibles take on Rarible. I swear they called him out. There it is. Boom. Wash trading alert. Current suspect is Vincent of DAPReview. Just testing Vincent. Vincent comes out and a couple other guys say, hey, is mining forbidden? So what you had was these selling and buying happening for the same asset over and over again at a large token price. And they were able to get the Rarible token, RARI, for that. They'll be able to use that, and we can go into RARI here and see CoinGecko. So basically you're wash trading to get the token. I'm sure there will be some type of staking mechanism. If they have anybody that's like running token economics for them, staking is obviously important to get people to lock up the token within your platform. But obviously you can go and sell that token too. It's seen relative price appreciation. So every RARI token is 131. So these are all things that as we continue to kind of innovate within, you know, the not only the NFT industry but just crypto in general, that like what is right, and people are going to continuously have these discussions as we go down. But the main point that non-fungibles is making, that I'm making here, is Rarible incentivizing wash trading. And you know, again, what happens with that, guys, is you get to go onto a site just like a DAP review, just like a DAP.com that we saw kind of like wash. I wouldn't call it wash trading, but you essentially had people on the platform that were fake mining when we had that DAP craze back in 2018. And what does that do? Pushes you up all the way up the charts, man. So now anybody's coming into OpenSea, they're like, oh my God, Rarible. Like, what is this Rarible site? And why I need to be trading this stuff, where a majority of these actions, which 740 is the amount of assets that are currently trading or have been traded. Let's see if we can't find the actual filter. So it says it's sorting by 7-day ETH volume. So if you're continuously wash trading to get this RARI token, it's actually pushing Rarible up the charts. They don't give a crap about, you know, stopping this because it's pushing them up the charts. Then you just have a situation where the incentives were there, everything made sense, and then it kind of got bastardized by people. And some people might say that's not even bastardizing. This is a free market. So good story. It's obviously something to keep an eye on as far as RARI goes and in the token itself. I mean, we only have a handful of NFT tokens. I think Wax is obviously there. RARI's there now. But it's interesting to Decentraland. Interesting to keep tabs on these different NFT tokens. I wonder if OpenSea doesn't launch a token here over the next year. I really feel like it's an easy win for them to do things like what RARI's trying to do here. So hopefully they can do it in a good manner. But also keep an eye out, guys, if you want to actually take part in a DAO type function, then this RARI token would make sense for you to do if you're a user of Rarible. So arguments on both sides per usual. And then, guys, the last piece of news I had before I wrap up here, and it's good to see you guys chatting in the channel here. The last piece of news, Decentraland's obviously teaming up here with Samsung, so they're going to be able to have their Decentraland marketplace on mobile phones. So there's this Samsung blockchain wallet that obviously launched. It's kind of outside the realm of NFTs, but you're now able to use and trade different avatar features. Obviously, we see that games, really the real interesting part of games now is not the actual the actual game itself, but it's creating yourself inside of that game. So obviously having the avatars and like buying different things, we can even go to OpenSea right now, see what the majority is trading. Obviously you have parcels, but if you go down here, see if we can't find something that was recently listed. It might just be a majority of parcels that are just continuously trading, but I believe within the Decentraland marketplace that they have on their platform, you've got a ton of different things that are happening, and avatar clothes and avatar different items that you can wear and that make yourself unique within that metaverse. So hey, what's going on, Seth? Nice to see you. We just are about to wrap up here. I think I've got like probably 5 more minutes. If you guys want to drop me anything as far as NFT goes, or NFTs go, this is pretty much what we got, guys. If you go down to the description, I'm always going to have this information there, so you'll be able to follow along as I talked about it. I'm going to obviously timestamp things post episode, so ton of different things going on in the NFT space. We talked Flow, we talked Sandbox, we talked Aave and them launching NFTs, and then SuperRare and Decentraland. So a ton of different things going on in the NFT space, man. It honestly is probably one of the hottest times that I've seen as far as NFTs are concerned. And that's just because we've been laying the infrastructure for so long that people are finally able to kind of take advantage. So let me know what you guys are doing within NFTs, man. Usually I want these conversations to be both ways, and not just me talking to you about the news. Certainly we'll come in here and stream some games sometimes as that starts to pick up. Maybe in Axie Infinity we'll hop into Decentraland, do some cool shit like that. We've got Cyrus asking how much is the minimum of land price right now. So if you're talking about Decentraland land, we can go in and probably search by lowest price, but that'll probably pull up. I don't know why this is all land. So let's see if I can't do the simple conversion here, because most of this is sold in mana, or some of it's sold in ETH. So let's just search by ETH. Looks like you can pick up a piece of land here, man, for about 3.5. But again, what you want to take part in is an interesting area. So if you can get a portion, I mean, this is simply like buying real estate in regular life, right? Like if you buy on the fringe of something that may be a really cool community one day, then you could potentially get a lot of value. Whereas if you just buy something out in the boonies, man, the chances that stuff actually sees, so any price appreciation is fairly low. Let's see if we can't zoom out here. So I've been like a really big user of crypto voxels, and I haven't really taken a look at this map. So if you guys are Decentraland users, I would love to hear what the hottest places are within Decentraland. At face value, I think that Decentraland has a larger community. Maybe not as vocal, but it just seems like from what they're putting out, there's so many different things happening within Decentraland, whereas crypto voxels is kind of like the little brother that's just starting to come up. We'll see what happens. He's certainly going to be around for a long time, and they're innovating over there. But Decentraland just seems like they've got so much more, I don't know, just of everything. Like even team, I think Ben's working on crypto voxels, and you see him doing it all the time. But when you have the team that Decentraland has, you can possibly pull out a lot more revenue and output when you have a large team like that. So we got a couple more questions here. I made a one-of-a-kind NFT digital oil paintings. Send that in the chat, Seth. Maybe I can pull that up. We've got Cryptophasia saying, great show, thanks. Yeah, definitely. I appreciate it, Cryptophasia. The NFTLive is going to be something that's kind of fluid, right? Like we're still kind of trying to figure out what do we want to do with NFTLive. Do we want to actually have gameplay? Does it make sense just to do news for you guys? What do you guys want to see from NFTLive? It's really that question more than anything, because I like getting the news. It helps me stay involved in the industries, not even crypto, just like more NFT space in general. So yeah, man, this is going to be something that evolves over time. Congratulations to anyone that took part in this recent move up. ETH is up 12%. I mean, I'm not talking too much price on this, but when a move like that happens, I gotta say congrats to whoever participated. Cyrus is saying, yeah, Decentraland is ahead of the time. I think you're right. I think at first I thought Decentraland was kind of this like, I don't want to say anything too off-putting here. They were moving essentially really slow, where you saw crypto voxels kind of have this grassroots movement. Ben was coming out with something every other day. So while Ben is still doing that, and they're still kind of, I have to be really careful with what I say here. I love both teams, and I think they're going to do, they're both going to thrive alongside each other. There's nothing, I mean, certainly there's some competition, but one is not going to put the other out of business. I think part of the point here is that we're going to continue to see different communities pull up within crypto voxels as opposed to Decentraland too. Sandbox itself too. So you're going to have these different communities within these different worlds. It's not going to be a winner takes all here. I'm more into Engine. Yeah, I remember Engine back in the day. I thought they were going to be a lot farther along than they are now, man. I really thought that. But well, if you held it for a year, you're doing pretty well. Yeah, Engine obviously has been around for a little while. They're doing all right. As far as like developments on the platform, I knew, or they definitely like put out some news as far as that Minecraft server went. I think like having a Minecraft server that runs with NFTs is definitely innovative. I don't think that you'll be able to do that. I mean, same thing as CryptoVoxels, that might exist, but I think Minecraft will one day launch its own, which might make that a little bit more obsolete than it already is. Cyrus is talking, but lately more games just existing from Engine. Don't know why. Maybe bad times. So are they existing, or are you talking about exiting? Yeah, Engine is just something I haven't really looked into. Looks like they integrated Bancor maybe for like an NFT marketplace. Yeah, and obviously, like I've said the word DeFi more than I've ever said anything in my entire life in like a 7-day span. But NFTs just seem like way more sustainable. And Stanny was talking about that in his point again, right? Like he was saying incentives are good. Yield farming might be bad. So you could see a lot more of these maybe decentralized protocols or financial protocols that integrate NFTs into their platform. It just like makes more sense, and it seems more sustainable. So definitely going to be an interesting time. If you want to follow Stanny, obviously there's his handle right there. Stanny Kulachov. Yeah, we had him on the channel. He talked a lot. Dimitri had a lot of good questions for him as it came to kind of the sustainability of all this stuff, and he had some really good answers. So let's say bonus chapter. He called it safety mining. So guys, that's pretty much it. Again, I want to go for like another couple minutes here. If you guys got any questions, any topics, man, that it's happening within the NFT space, I'd love to hear more about it. We broke down Flow. I think Flow is going to be like the biggest player in the NFT space, hands down, bar none. Wax is doing a great job, but Flow is going to, I think, blow the top off this thing. Aave obviously is putting out this stuff. We see Stanny talking about it here. SuperRare had like a $7,000 sale for like a red image, simply. Decentraland's launching mobile on Samsung, and then the Sandbox is obviously having that last bit of their sale. Guys, I want to see Ola. We're talking about that right now, man. NFT yield farming. So Rarible's launching their RARI token. So now when you trade on Rarible like you would on OpenSea, you get a RARI token. So you heard it here first, NFT yield farming. And then you have yield farming protocols that are also launching NFTs. So I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole because you do have a lot of crazy shit happening. Let's see. Cyrus is saying Dapper, my favorite wallet. Been testing it since beta. Yeah, that Dapper wallet's amazing. I just haven't had many uses for it. MetaMask is going to be the way I go just because it's composable with way more things than Dapper wallet. But let's check Dapper wallet out. Let's see. Maybe I'm missing out. You always got to talk crypto into things afterwards. Yeah, so essentially with you testing this and you testing the Dapper wallet, what platforms is it actually integrated with? Mike's been showing me NBA Top Shot and people selling out, or like people buying these Top Shot collectibles. I don't know if you guys seen Top Shot, NBA Top Shot. But basically they're GIFs. I know Mike opened it. I don't know if you're still here, Mike, but basically in the same way that GPK is doing their sales, NBA Top Shot's doing their sales. They look epic drop and things like that. You're on a wait list, so I'm banging down the doors to get into this wait list here, trying to figure out what I can do to get some of these collectibles. They're not like this is like very under the radar because it's closed, right? Like it's a closed behind closed doors sale. Obviously, there's a ton of people on the wait list trying to get into this early access. But what you have is collectibles, so you'll have like Trae Young there that's on a collectible card, but you'll also have the game that picture was taken in. You'll have the highlight that's associated with it. Just a lot of really cool integrated features that you don't get on like normal collectibles. Mike's got a couple of those, so I definitely want to see what he's gotten himself into on Top Shot. But I don't think they're able to be traded. It might just be like a marketplace within this platform, as opposed to, because I haven't seen anything on OpenSea. Like, there's no way it's able to be tradable on OpenSea. I would have heard about it. Yeah, there's no way. Yeah, guys. So again, I'm gonna hop off here in the next couple minutes. I appreciate you guys stopping by. I appreciate all the likes, man. For the amount of people that are in here, the amount of likes we got are awesome. NFTLive is gonna be something that grows over time with you NFT enthusiasts. I appreciate the LADZ that have been powering Layer 1 this entire time. You guys are killing it too. Can't wait for that LADZ token launch that we're doing here on Monday. You should get an interesting article tomorrow on how we're distributing those initial tokens. There's going to be a lot of cool things we can do. You watch Dimitri's desk. You can watch all of our content, participate in events within Layer 1. Maybe if you bring me the coolest NFT, not give it to me, but if you bring me the coolest NFT, maybe you get some LADZ. There's going to be a lot of cool things that we can do with it. That's going to be awesome once we launch. So that's gonna be it today, guys. That was OpenSea. A lot of cool news in the NFT space. Last thing I'm gonna say before I get off here is we got Ola Art saying cool. He said, Q, got to do some yield farming live next video. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll get onto Rarible. I'll earn some RARI. See if I can't walk you all through that process. That's a good idea, man. Ola's gonna get the first LADZ on NFTLive. That's what's gonna happen. So yeah, man, I appreciate you guys sticking around to the end. Awesome episode. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next week. Thanks, guys.